So me and the wife just finished watching Creed 3. Really great movie. I mean, it had so much Rocky elements to it. I mean, I don't want to give the movie away. I'd like you to enjoy it. I'll just give you little pieces of the pie. So when Adonis Creed was a young man, obviously he had his troubles. He was in one of those homes, for children, I guess, that had, legal troubles. And one of his best friends that was facing that struggle, what was it? Was it Damon? What was his name? Yeah, Damon. They called him short, Dam. And, there was a guy there that I guess there was a boxing program, and he was very abusive to all the children. And what happened was Adonis saw him on the street, this guy, and just snapped. He lost his temper, beat this guy to the floor. Now his friend Dame, pulled out a gun. The police came. Adonis ran. Adonis got away. Dame didn't. Okay, he went to jail. So he always had this guilty conscience. You follow me? That he got away scot-free and his friend went to jail. And I guess what it was a part of his life, Adonis. He didn't want to know. He wanted to forget all about it. And he kind of didn't check up on his friend. Granted, his mother, Marianne, which was very sad, she wound up passing away in this movie. It reminded me a lot of Mick in Rocky 3. She had a stroke. It was a second stroke. I mean, I know it's a movie, but still. I'm very, very deep into the Rocky movies and the Creed movies, and it seems very real to me, and I was very sad over it. But despite it's just a movie, but it was very heartbreaking, and it just reminded me of Mick, in Rocky 3, and she was keeping all the letters that his friend Dame was writing to him. She was keeping them away from him because she knew, even though Adonis wasn't her real son, it was Apollo had an affair with another woman, but she took Adonis and Marianne, this is Apollo's wife, as her own. And that was, he thought of her as his real mom. His wife looked at Marianne as the mother that she didn't have for many years in her life, and she was very close to her. And she was protecting him all these years. So the friend Dane was writing all these letters, but the mother Marianne never gave it to Adonis. But what happened was the guy just shows up out of the blue, years and years and years later. Now this is where Adonis, his whole life is set. He's the heavyweight champion of the world. He's married, beautiful child. She, as we know from the first Creed, his beautiful baby daughter unfortunately had hearing issues, and and they were obviously doing sign language. Very beautiful. Sometimes I think sign language is beautiful than hearing, like a voice. So it's such a beautiful language. And ultimately, the friend wanted the dream. He had that dream because this guy, his friend, was fighting for the Golden Gloves. He won the championship. It was always his friend's dream to become the world heavyweight champion of the world. And he was in jail for 18 years. Kept himself in shape, kept himself motivated. And then when he saw Adonis, he said, I want that shot. And Adonis was like, look, I can't give you that shot, man. You're not even a pro. He goes, if Apollo Creed could give an unknown Rocky Balboa a shot at the heavyweight championship, why can't you? So it winded up that the champion of the world, okay, Felix, he was, being trained, by Adonis Creed. They set up a fight, but the only reason why his friend Dame got the shot at the title was Drago. Remember Drago from the Creed series? Drago's son. Not Ivan Drago, not the father, the son. Well, apparently, this guy Dame hired someone, one of his cellmates, one of his brothers from jail, to attack Drago and hurt him to the point where he wouldn't fight. He couldn't fight Felix because that was supposed to be the original fight. So then it gave Adonis Creed, the opportunity. Let me get my friend in there. Let me have him fight because he felt like he owed him. You understand? He felt like he owed him that. Long story short, this guy had that fury. This guy, Dane, being locked up in jail for 18 years, wanting nothing more than to accomplish his dreams. But, let's just say he wasn't fighting fair. He was fighting dirty. He was fighting. He would do anything to win. It doesn't make a difference. Remember, like we know Mike Tyson with Holyfield, he bit the ear off. Well, this guy would have bit any part of your body off. He wanted to win at any cost, and he did win. Definitely wasn't fighting fair, fighting dirty, but he won. And then once he won, all of that anger, all of that turned into vengeance because Adonis Creed left him in jail. Like he never checked up on him. He never saw if he was doing okay. And he was like, you left me, man. You left me to rot. I had your back. You left me to rot. Of course, that turned into now, it just got to the point where, you know, Adonis had no choice but to face him in the ring. You know, he had to face everything. He had to face the guilt. He had to face everything. The fear. And I just think it was a really, really awesome movie. I give it 10 out of 10. I really liked it. I thought it was great. I highly recommend it. I won't tell you the ending. Okay? I won't tell you how it turns out. So that's it. That's the review of Creed 3 from the Apefather. What'd you think of it, Jen?
Yeah, I really liked it a lot. I thought that it was very well done. The screenplay, the acting, and everything was really well done, and kept me entertained the whole time. That's how I know it's a good movie.
My wife stood awake. On
That's a good.
our first date,
That's a good movie to me.
our first movie date, we went to see The Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis, and my wife just fell asleep, and everybody was blown away that Bruce Willis was like a ghost. My wife said, "What? What? Bruce Willis was dead? He was a ghost?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." She stood awake for this one, and let me tell you something. That's a big thing for all
That's
moviegoers.
That's huge. Check it out.
Check out Creed 3. Creed 3, baby. In the house.